Hello, hello. My name is Hertret Eugene Jr. My friends call me Hurt, and I am a guy on the internet who does things that he loves to do, but puts them on the internet because it's fun. My ultimate drift chassis is the 1989 Mazda RX-7. Why? I mean, you've seen them hips, right? They don't lie. They're beautiful. Beautiful cars, pop-up headlights, 80s/early 90s feel, and they just drive amazing. I don't feel like enough people drive FC RX-7s because they're slept on. So I can't really explain why they're amazing. You just have to drive one. I think they feel better than 240s. I think they look better than 240s. And I mean, that's all you need in drifting, right? Feel better, look better. Those are the two things. And I'm not hating on 240s. I have one. I just think the RX-7 is the ultimate drift chassis. So we gotta do some stuff. We gotta do some work. I'm gonna do some work this year, next year. I gotta build a new one and really show people what they're about. All right, you guys are gonna see something. I promise. Handbrake or Scandinavian Flick? Always Scando Flick. Always Scando Flick. And if you're doing it right, in my opinion, well, there's no right or wrong because drifting is very stylistic. But I love going fast, so I love Scando flicking way too hot, and then sometimes you got a four-wheel lock, after you do it. It's either that or go backwards. I'm not really a backwards pro. I got some work to do still. I'm still learning. But Scando to handbrake if you're going hot. If I could only drive one track, then I would just be forced to get rich and build a track so I could put all my favorite elements into it. I mean, I had a blast of Lime Rock, I had a blast of Laguna, but I also love kart tracks like Affinity in Oregon, Park, this track in Poland, I can't pronounce the name, but I went to Next Level Drift Bash in Poland, and the track there was amazing. I love kart tracks. Kart tracks are so much fun, but I also love going really fast. So I could never just pick one track. So if you had a gun to my head right now and you told me to pick one track, you may as well just, I can't pick a favorite anything, all right? So Nappy Boy Automotive, it started as Nappy Boy Drifting. T-Pain starting to get into drifting. You may have seen some of his journey, starting in Abu Dhabi and then starting to pick up some things from Chelsea and Vaughn over at RTR. And Payne isn't really someone to just dip his toes into something. He fell in love with drifting, and I feel like it shows. But when you're starting a brand and you're trying to make a movement, you have to think broader. And even though we love drifting and we're always going to drift, making it a automotive brand versus a drifting brand just opens up the doors to do more. And so your fan base doesn't just expect drifting, and everyone else who loves cars isn't going to see drifting and be like, oh, I don't really like drifting, so I'm not going to watch that. So Nappy Boy Automotive basically started as a drifting thing that Payne wanted to do, and he invited me to join him into making it something bigger and better when it became Nappy Boy Automotive. So yeah, we love cars and we want to share that love with people all over the world. I mean, it depends on who you're asking, because extreme lows are drift spec. I mean, am I right? Pizza all day. You can't eat Crocs. Hey, look, these things get the job done, all right? I enjoy them. They're comfortable, but let's be real. They're probably bad for my health. I got like flat feet now, can't wear these things all the time. I'm learning. So pizza, technically, you shouldn't eat them all the time. It's probably bad for your health too, but it's a different kind of bad. You know, I can work out and get some pizza off my body. I can't unflatten my feet, you know? Current trend in drifting that I love is it seems like people are way more willing to uplift other drivers than in the past. In the past, I feel like it was really easy to trash on people and bring them down. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I feel like as long as you're a nice person and you're actively contributing to drifting, I feel like people come together and they're always down to help you. I always call it Worldwide Drift Family. For as long as I've been doing this, from 15 years ago when nobody knew who I was, and just trying to contribute to drifting and getting accepted in open arms, to now, I think my favorite part about drifting is the Worldwide Drift Family aspect of it. There's not really much about it that I hate about drifting. I mean, because at the end of the day, who are we to judge what anyone is doing at any time? So it's like, to hate something, but that person might love what they're doing, it's not your business. What determines the best drifter, right? Is it pro driving and championships? Is it fun driving and driving consistently hard all the time? You know, there's so many aspects of who's the pound for pound best drifter, right? If we're talking competitive drifting, then I have a hard time not saying James Dean, because he three-peated FD. He's won multiple championships in multiple countries. And when his car is on the level, even when his car is not on the level, he's still competitive. And I don't mean his cars are subpar, but these new cars are insane, and the level of grip that they have, it makes it harder. But if the cars are on the same level in competition drifting, and I know he's learning that RTR right now, I think next season is going to be pretty spicy. But it's hard to bet against James, man. James is an absolute savage behind the wheel, and that's not to take away from anyone, because I think Chelsea DeNova is one of the best drivers in the world. Vaughn Gittin Jr. is one of the best drivers in the world, because that dude he showed up in 2020 and was like, this is mine. You know, he decided it was his, you know? So, like, there's so many people who can be the best in the world. The pound for pound changes every month, I feel like, you know? It's a tough one. That's a tough one. Take your time. Just take your time. Don't rush. Drifting isn't going anywhere. Fingers crossed. I've seen a lot of people like get into it, and I'm not saying just work within your means, right? If you got it like that, dump all your money into something and do whatever you want. But for the people who don't have it like that, don't rush. Take your time and build the right car for you. Don't build the right car. Don't build the car that you think is right because the internet says it's right. Look at yourself. Look at what you're doing. Look at your skill level and build the car right for you at that moment. And you can always add more later. So take your time. Oh, goodness gracious. Listen, I'm not a rapper, okay? I firmly believe that if T-Pain walked up to anyone watching this video and said, hey, hop on this track with me, I'll help you write your verse. You're not going to do it? You're telling me you're not going to do it? So I am not a drifter turned rapper. I am just a drifter who sees the day.